Are you ready to get more done, earn more income in less time? Then you're in the right place if you said yes. Hi, my name is Shannon Martel, and I am here to serve you today in our second part of our three-part series, the 3 simple time management strategies for coaches, course creators, and online service providers. This training is designed to help you to be able to get more done, earn more income in less time. So this is part 2 of the 3 steps in our series. If you didn't get to check out the first one, go ahead and look back on my YouTube channel. That one went live last week, and we focused on step 1 of the 3-part system, which is all on helping you to be able to prioritize all of those tasks that you have in your business to be able to help you to be able to achieve the goals that you have for your online coaching business, course creation business, or as a service provider, or truthfully, this coaching and training works for anyone that is interested in being able to get more done, generate more income in less time. So we're going to be diving in, but if you haven't gone ahead and grabbed that, make sure that you go ahead and watch that training, and also grab your down below in the comments. I have linked below for you several different resources to help you not just absorb this information, but actually implement this information and training that I'm providing for you. So the first thing that I want you to grab, and let me see if I can just share it with you here, is the time management. Let's see, the time management action guide here. So this guide is roughly about 19 pages. And this is going to walk you through the step-by-step action steps that you want to be able to implement in your plan to be able to prioritize. Again, that's what we covered in the first module, was prioritizing those projects and tasks that support your overall goals in your business. And then today we're diving into step 2, which is planning. So it's taking all of those projects, all of those tasks, and actually learning how to, that art of planning, learning how to be able to put together a really cohesive plan that helps you to be able to do step 3, which is produce and put that plan to work and to be able to get the success that you desire. So go ahead and make sure that you pick that up. That's linked for you down below. And then let me see if I can share the other thing for you. I think remove that. And let's see, stop share. There's my doorbell. And let's see, slides, share screen. And the other thing is the December planner. So you want to make sure that you pick that up as well, and the December planner. And this is the free planner that I put together for you that actually helps you take all of those tasks, break them all down, and then put them into a schedule and a step-by-step plan for you to be able to implement into your business. So make sure you go ahead and grab those, because that will make this plan then actionable and workable for you to be able to get the results that you are excited to be able to get in your business, right? And then I'd also like to invite you to be able to join the conversation over in my free Facebook community, the Course Creator Collective. This community is a place for you to be able to learn and grow and share your best practices, learn from one another, other coaches, course creators that are on the same journey as you. Whether you are just starting a business, you're in the stage of growing your business or scaling your business, this is a really great community to be able to join to help you share in the like experiences that you have with other people that are going through the same trials and errors and successes and wins that you are too. So it's a great place to be, and we invite you over there to be able to go on this journey with us together. So now that we have the housekeeping done, let's go ahead and dive into the training. And it's funny that our topic is today on kind of diving into how this makes you feel as a coach or a course creator with all of the things that you have to get done. But I'll share a funny story. So I'll table that till we get to that particular section of the training today. But I want you to kind of think about, like, why is having a plan in place for effective time management mastery important to you? So I want you to ask yourself a couple of questions. Like, do you ever find yourself at the end of the day wondering, exactly what did I accomplish today? Like, raise your hand if you're ever guilty of that. you answer yes, know that you're not alone. Even with me having created the time mastery management system, there are still some days that, if I'm not as consistent with putting together a good plan, or too much crap hits the fan, that you feel like, what the heck did I even accomplish today? Having a plan in place is going to help you avoid that. It's going to help you to avoid the overwhelm that having too much to do and feeling like you don't have enough time to get it done likely causes for you. It's like kind of that feeling of running on that treadmill, feeling like you're running, you're running faster, but you're going nowhere. It happens to all of us. It happens to all of us, but let's make sure that we have a good system and plan in place to help us to be able to avoid that. Because truthfully, as entrepreneurs, you cannot afford to throw these precious minutes away in the day or moments in the day. You just need to get better at being able to manage the time that you have. Like, we all have the same amount of time, maybe not in the same amount of energy in that time. So that's why having a plan that's really conducive to you, your energy levels, your life, your specific desires, goals, lifestyles is really important to make sure that you plan it, you prioritize it so you can produce it and get the goals that you. So in the first step, the first is a three-piece system. So we've got prioritize, plan, and produce. The first step, the prioritize step, we dove into our first training. So you can look back up I'll link that in the comments below for you as well. But we really dove into really mapping out and the steps to be able to map out like what your goals are for your business, and then how then to break those goals down into identifying what the projects are that support those goals, and then how to then break that down even further on what particular tasks are required to be able to get that particular project done. So I gave the example of like creating an online course. Creating an online course in and of itself has a lot of mini tasks that go underneath that. So maybe you have a list of 30 tasks under the bucket of creating an online course that you need to make sure that you're giving ample priority to, and that you're giving ample time to, so you can then produce it, right? So we broke down the strategy for how you can then identify as a coach or a course creator what those particular projects are, what particular tasks encompass are in each project. Hold on just a second. Got some people here. Sorry about that. So again, like identifying what those particular tasks are that's important to be able to support your projects and further support your goals, and then how to be able to prioritize those, right? So you can have this list of hundreds of tasks really, and being able to identify like what's most important in your business as a coach or a course creator. So then you can prioritize those. So we dove into looking at using the Eisenhower matrix to be able to understand what's important, what's not important, what's urgent, what's not urgent, and then looking to see like what you need to work on today, this week, this month, what those top 3 most important tasks are in your business as an entrepreneur, and looking at like what those revenue generating activities are. So when you go through this, that you're really, really focusing on the things that really require your attention and your energy, and the things that don't require your attention and energy, maybe you can delegate to someone else to be able to take action on in your business or in your life to be able to get the support you need. So once you've got that list, and if you haven't done it, again, like I encourage you to go back and grab the action guide, grab the planner, go through, if you watch the rest of this video today, yeah, that's fine, but make sure that you don't skip that first step, because you want to be able to create a plan that's going to work for you and work for your business. So you want to make sure you go through that exercise. It doesn't have to take long. It may take longer the first time you do it, but know that it's like a working list. Like once you've gone through that particular process, then you'll have that plan, that big overall task list that then we can plan and put some time to, and allocate some time to in our schedule to be able to knock those things out. So we want to really like diving in, understanding the 3 steps. It's prioritize, it's plan, it's produce. By going through this and implementing this system in your business, knowing that it's a test, right, or an experiment, going through this is going to give you the data that you need to be able to understand what's working, what's not working, what to improve on, what to get rid of. Like going through this is going to really help you to get off that treadmill to nowhere and to help you have a really clear, solid plan and a path to be able to achieve your goals. So as we're moving through, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop those in the comments below. Know that, your questions are important. If there's any concept that, I've talked about or that you need further clarification about because you don't quite understand what I meant by what I said, whether we're talking about the prioritizing, like really how to get clear on what those revenue generating tasks are for your business, Eisenhower matrix, like any of it, go ahead and post those questions down below. No question is not a good question. They're all good. If you have a question, likely someone else does too. So be that person that goes forth and asks those questions, and it helps us learn together as a community. And then if you want some more conversation around it, maybe you have some specific struggles that you don't want to just share openly on YouTube, then come over and join us in the Course Creator Collective and the private community. And we encourage those conversations. And then being able to learn from one another too is super powerful because you can learn from other people that, we all have our unique gifts and talents, and some people are stronger in areas than others. And we can really learn best practices from one another. So bring your questions over there. That would be very, very helpful. So let's dive into looking at how to create a plan. So now that we have prioritized this to-do list, you want to make sure that you are looking at your to-do list and you're really identifying what's important and the best possible, most efficient way and productive way to be able to get these particular tasks done that you've mapped out for yourself and your business. So the first thing I want to talk to you about in regards to this piece of it is really time blocking your task. So, kind of thinking about like as a coach or as a course creator, you have main buckets, right, of things that you would be working on in your business. So kind of looking at a tangible example of, or a practical example of that looks at like product development. It's looking at content creation. It's looking at client interaction. So maybe on your client days or client community days, you are taking your sales calls, you're taking your coaching calls, you're maybe doing consultations, things like that. So you've got traffic. You need to have some time allocated to generating traffic in your business because it's really important that you every day are getting new eyeballs on your content, on your courses, because otherwise you end up running into fatiguing your audience and then your business can slow down. So you really want to make sure that you're generating traffic every day, that you're creating those time blocks to work on your content creation, your product development, your sales, your onboarding, and then your product delivery, where you're delivering your programs and services to your clients, as well as admin blocks. And that's just the business side of the house, right? You still perhaps are a busy mom or dad, and you have a family to take care of, a household to take care of, all of the things. So it's again really important to understand that what we need to do, and then the time buckets that we have to be able to do this. So we look at time blocking, and there's a lot of studies that talk about with time blocking and how time blocking is really, really good because task switching is where like you're working on this and a minute later you're working on this, and you can have like too many tabs open. I don't know if this is you too. I can tend to open a lot of tabs, but what I find is like the more like divided your attention is, the more you start task switching, the longer it takes to get something done. So we want to kind of look in at our schedule and looking at like this particular time, I'm going to allocate a certain budget of my time. Say you work 6 hours a day or you work 8 hours a day. You want to allocate a certain percentage of time to be able to get a particular task or a particular portion of a project completed during that time. And that will help you to really, really be a lot more efficient and productive by doing that. Because, it's kind of like, building multiple bridges at the same time. If you were like building bridge A, bridge B, and bridge C all at the same time, like you're starting this one and then you're stopping, then you're moving over this one and then you're stopping. It's going to take you a lot longer to get that done versus picking one particular task, one particular project to work at a time, having that good focused productivity time just to focus on that one thing. It will, I promise you. In fact, I'd love to hear how that really implements for you or works out for you to be able to plan that time, decide what you're going to work on, and then put off the rest for the next day or the next time block and see what you can really accomplish during that time. And then, looking at really finding natural rhythms for you. So it's important to really identify, when you have the most energy. So are you a morning person? Do you like to get up early? Maybe perhaps early, you're a really early riser. Maybe you like to get up at 4 or 5 in the morning and you have the most energy then. That is a really good time to work on your creative task. So maybe that's, creating your online course, or maybe it's creating your content. Maybe you're batch creating content for like a week at a time or like half week at a time. So you're writing all of your content, and then perhaps you're creating all of your graphics, and maybe another task block or time block that you've allocated is later in the afternoon for maybe when you're doing some of those admin things that don't take as much creative energy. And then maybe that's when you are going and scheduling these particular tasks. So it's important to know for you, like, what those natural rhythms are for you, when you feel the most energetic, and pairing those with the particular tasks that feel like they take the most energy from you. Another thing, a lot of people or a lot of coaches and course creators, especially if you are an introvert in any way, feel like it takes a lot of energy to show up live and do videos, right? Or to do Zoom calls. Maybe you're doing some consultation calls for new clients, or maybe you're working with clients. Those can be really high energy tasks compared to your normal like energy levels. So kind of looking again, when are you the most energetic? Are you a morning person or a night person? Do you like to be more social after lunch? Like maybe when I know for me, like that's what works for me. I like to get all of my really creative, in-depth work done in the morning because I'm more energetic in the mornings. And then in the afternoon, I like to kind of work on after lunch. That's when I feel more social. It's like, and in my days of networking in person, we always went to networking, meetings at lunchtime. So it's kind of in that natural rhythm for me of when I feel more conversational to jump in the DMs and be able to provide some guidance in the DMs to clients and to leads that are reaching out to work with me. So know what those times are for you and what works best for you is really important. And then planning for interruptions. So there's going to be interruptions in your day that you haven't anticipated that you may have to deal with right away. Like an example for me for this week, my dog, I don't know if you caught my video last week, but my dog had injured her paw. We had to take her to the vet, and then she wasn't doing well over the weekend and she just kept getting worse. So I called the vet and they're like, yeah, you can bring her in. So our appointment was at 10:30 yesterday. So I budgeted like an hour, right? 4 hours later, we finally come back home and she's okay. But it took a lot longer. They had to run some tests and, do a couple different things and then get her medicine and all of that. So it definitely took a lot longer. So the power of having a really good, solid plan in place is I was able to go right back to my plan, quickly identify what was urgent, what was not urgent, what my top 3 most important tasks were, because I'd already done that work. So I was able to come home, get everybody settled, eat some lunch, and then jump into my work and still feel at the end of the day that I was productive. That's what I want for you, is to be able to have a system and a plan in place for you to be able to do that even if you have interruptions that were planned or weren't planned, you have created a system that supports you. Another thing that you can look at is also adding in buffer time. I know for me, like I used to have like every minute planned of the day, and it just isn't feasible, right? I mean, you can, even the best of plans, you can't 100% plan exactly how long things are going to take. I did this recording earlier and the system went down right in the middle of it. So, you never know, when you're going to have tech issues, when you're going to have a call that comes through that takes longer than you anticipated, a child gets sick, your puppy gets sick, there's going to be other things that are going to come up that you didn't necessarily plan for. And by including buffer time in there, maybe you do this by overestimating. Maybe you overestimate and say, recording this particular module is going to take me 2 hours, and you get it done in 1 hour. Then you have that buffer time available to you, then to either allocate it to getting ahead on other tasks, or doing some admin tasks, or maybe something around the house, or go grab a coffee or something fun. Call a friend, give yourself some extra time. Don't overcommit and put way too much in your schedule, because that's just going to lead to overwhelm and anxiety and burnout. And we don't want that. We're not available for that anymore. So kind of looking at, that, knowing you want to overestimate, it's kind of recapping, you want to overestimate in your schedule. You want to build in that buffer time. So having some white space in your calendar feels good, that, you can feel, and then you have to tell me if this is you too, but I can feel like if there's white space or there's too much free time space, I can get hard on myself and feel like, oh, I'm not being productive enough. But honestly, the more I allow myself the freedom and flexibility, I know I've got my most important task done, then I feel really good about it. And I feel like I've earned that free time. So allow yourself that flexibility and freedom to then know, like, yes, I know I'm focused on the most important things. I can allow myself some free time. I can actually gamify it. And if I plan on getting these particular things or working a particular task block, then I can reward myself with, maybe it's a 15-minute break or a 30-minute break, and watch your favorite episode or something on TV, or call a friend or something like that. But go ahead and make sure that you're planning for that in your schedule to give yourself that gift, because it will help to re-energize you, to help you to be more productive and getting the next things done in your schedule. So again, making sure that you're overestimating, that you're giving yourself buffer time, kind of looking at like a practical example of what that would look like. So say I have a client meeting that I've scheduled from 9 to 10. Maybe from 10 to 1:15, I'm working on building out a new module in my Call to Serve course. And then in the afternoon, and I had this the other day, I had my grandson's Christmas performance. So planning, making sure that you have time blocks. In the morning, I'm working on this. In the afternoon, I'm working on this. By this particular time, I'm going to be done and wrapped up, and then allow myself time for traffic and parking and all of those things. That way you're giving yourself that gift of time. It helps you to be more focused. It helps you to know exactly what you're working on, and it helps you to feel like you can breathe because you've already planned for it. It really, really will do a lot for you to be able to do that. So kind of thinking about, like, if you're budgeting an hour for that client call, perhaps your real intention behind that hour budget is that my calls are scheduled really for 45 minutes. By giving myself an hour time block, 2-task block, to 30-minute task block using the Pomodoro technique, then I know if I wrap it up in 45 minutes, then I can have the extra 15 minutes to get a drink of water, to maybe use the restroom. Maybe it's to send out some deliverables to my client, or consultation call. If I'm wrapping up some notes or so forth, you have that extra buffer time to be able to do some of those things. It is really helpful. And then kind of thinking about the time block for the product development, where I'm working on developing new modules and resources for Call to Serve, then, maybe even though I gave myself, 10, 15, 11, 15, 3 hours, maybe I can wrap that up in like 2 hours and 15 minutes. So then I have an extra 45 minutes that I can then go, maybe I want to go for a walk, that would be a really good time after working a good chunk of time on something that's more critical thinking. By going for a walk, it's helping me like take care of my personal health and well-being, getting outside, getting the dog some exercise and fresh air as well. So kind of thinking about that, even though it seems counterproductive for you to like overestimate, it's actually the opposite. It's really going to really help you because it's going to give you that buffer time that you need to be able to get some extra things done, to take a break, make a phone call, all of the other things that aren't necessarily our most important task of the day. And then it gives you, again, like that plan for catch up. So having that buffer time, actually planning on like maybe Friday in your schedule is like a catch up day where you're going to kind of work on all of the things that maybe ran over or maybe you didn't finish. So maybe like, for example, you plan 2 hours to create the course module and you weren't done at the end of the 2 hours. And instead of like extending that 2 hour period into that one particular day, you budget some additional time on Friday to be able to catch up all of the tasks that you didn't finish today. So let me know if that makes sense. So you want to make sure that you're planning for catch up. So all of the things that, maybe you didn't get to finish or that got pushed on your schedule, it's okay. You can push things on your schedule. Don't just, you want to be able to have a place earmarked for them so you can go back and get those particular tasks done after you've re-identified that they truly are important for you to be able to do versus delegating or eliminating. So take a look at doing that in your plan too. And the action guide will help you to be able to go through all of this as well. And then batching tasks for better efficiency. This is something you really want to look at. So like when you are working on that particular task, that you've time blocked, you want to make sure that you're batching it. So instead of, kind of looking at and finding a rhythm that works for you, honestly, because you can batch, like create your content. So maybe in that particular content bucket, you're looking at, one, let's create our marketing plan and identify the pieces of content that we want to create for a given week that, is going to lead to, connecting with our course and leading to sales. Then so once you've identified like how many posts, how many lives, how many maybe reels or stories that you're doing, how many emails that you're doing, then you can start batch creating all of those. So once you're in that frame of thought, you're in knowing exactly the pieces of content that need to be created, the angles that you're creating them around, then you can start creating those pieces. And maybe that's your whole day. Maybe you're working on marketing the whole day because you're in the flow, right? Instead of stopping and starting multiple things at the same time, you're in the flow. You knock out the content creation and maybe you identify the graphics that you want to create, and then you go and create the graphics all at the same time. So, because once you're in that flow, you just keep kind of like preparing a meal. Like everything starts just to flow and get into a natural rhythm for you. So look at those things like what can you batch, do all at the same time? Maybe like for an admin thing, maybe another thing is like you need to go update your links on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and LinkedIn, wherever you may be at. Like doing them all at the same time, you're going to be far more productive if you kind of look at what you can batch together for better efficiencies. So in here, I've given you some examples, like you're going to publish a weekly video, only setting up things that, once is going to save a significant amount of time. So thinking about like that, even in that process itself, when you're creating a video, you're doing, if you're using slides, you're creating your slides, you're creating any resources that you may be giving with that particular training as well. And then you're setting up your office, your workspace. So you've got your lighting, you've got the video, you've got StreamYard, like whatever, all of those things. So instead of doing that 5 times or multiple times throughout the week, if you pick one particular time and to get those things done, you will save yourself a lot of time. Same with client calls. Maybe you're batching those in 2 times a week in a particular time block. So again, like looking at what your energetic resources are, your time is, what works best for you, and creating a schedule that supports that for you is going to be very helpful. And then also you want to consider using different project time management tools so that can really help you in your business. So kind of looking at, whether you are a Google Sheet girl, I love Google Sheets for task tracking, and really when you get granular about it, really start tracking your time and how long things are taking you to complete a task. Again, like when you first start the task and you're developing that skill, it's going to take you longer. But then as you start developing that habit, your skills get stronger, you're going to get quicker at things. So you want to create a project management system like maybe perhaps Trello or Asana, ClickUp. These are all project tools that can really help you like create that system, create, what they call SOPs or standard operating procedures, kind of like that checklist of this is my workflow for a particular task that will help you. So it takes that thought process out of like, what do I need to do again? It's already there for you. Like I try to create systems and processes for everything, templatize everything in your business as you move forward. That will really help you a lot. So look at, other things you can look at too are like interactive calendars. So like if you're using a Google Calendar, something that can work with multiple projects, again, like whether it's a long-term or a short-term project where you can see where everything is, what stage it's in, where, how much you still have to do on it, your different to-do list, whether you're using, paper planners, using the time management mastery system. I work on electronics, so I work on my Google Drive, my Google Calendar, Asana, but I'm also a paper girl. I will open up a Google Doc and put my list there and print it out and have it in front of me, because sometimes for me, when I see the humongous projects on Asana, it can get overwhelming. And then I can also get that squirrel brain, right? And start like, oh yeah, well, what do I need to do over here? And then before you know, it's like, oh, 30 minutes just went by. So having that big system broken down into your little list. I used to work with a manager who just had like sticky notes, and he would have a sticky note in his pocket for what he needed to do for that particular day. He ran regions in the bank, and that was his process. So find one that works for you. So here I've given you some links to Wrike, Trello, Basecamp, Asana, that you can refer to. Smart Sheets are amazing too if you're a spreadsheet kind of guy or gal, to be able to really, again, and when you create this plan, then it's repeatable, right? You can just check it off as you go, and kind of keeps you in a flow, so you can really identify what your rhythms and routines are going forward. So at the end of the day, then it's kind of preparing for the next day. People kind of tease because I always prepare the night before, like getting my workout clothes out, setting my coffee up for the day, like getting your task organized for the next day. So that really helps you, because that way you think about your energies in a bucket, you're not depleting your energy, your gas tank. You're not depleting your gas tank first thing in the morning, trying to have brain power on what am I supposed to work on today. You kind of prioritize your list the evening before, and then glance at it in the next morning to make sure that it's still in alignment with what you want to get accomplished for that day. Doing that the night before is really going to help you identify like what worked today, what didn't work today, what can I improve on tomorrow, and why, like understanding why, if something didn't work out today, understanding while you're still in the day, like what those time thieves were, and then how you can put a plan into place to avoid those time thieves from happening again tomorrow. It's not always going to be perfect, but it's going to really help you to be able to maximize your time at the end of the day by creating your next day schedule. And you already know, like you have a general idea of what you're going to be working on the next day and when you're going to be doing it. You're going to review long-term projects and then look at your system. Is it working? Is it not working? Really looking at like doing on, like, say it's a Monday, or maybe you even do it like Friday evening, Saturday, really looking at like, what did you accomplish this week? by having this plan in place, you're going to know what your intention was to accomplish this week. Sometimes I have clients that I work with that, like, they'll say, I feel like I'm not getting anything done. Well, what were your goals? What were your intentions to begin with? Like, that's where it starts, is really having a clear plan to begin with. And then, identifying, like, what did you accomplish out of that plan? What worked, what didn't work, and what can we improve on, and what can we eliminate going forward. By having that plan in place to begin with, you're going to be able to do that. These systems, they're highly personalized for you, and they're made through trial and error and constant revision, constantly refining, constantly getting better, asking those questions. You, as a business owner, become a natural problem solver. Like, you want to strive to be a problem solver. The more problems you have, the more opportunities you have, because really it is just an opportunity for you to look at and see, that what's working and what's not. But if you don't ever look at, like, what's going on, you're not going to know how to improve. So it's really important. You're not going to understand why it's not working unless you kind of go through these exercises and really get clear and intentional about your time, about what you're doing with that time, and making sure that you're spending that time on the most productive task. So as you go through, if you have any questions, again, this is step 2. The first step was prioritizing those particular goals, projects, tasks, most important tasks. This is step 2. This is where we were taking those tasks then and applying time to them. Go ahead, again, make sure that you grab the action guide and the planner so you can sit down, give yourself a time block, and spend that time block. Maybe it's 3 time blocks. First one is prioritizing, what the rest of 2023 is looking like for you. Maybe you start working on, Q1 of 2024. What are your goals? Like, what are your goals for 2024? How many courses, coaching programs do you want to be able to launch? How many clients do you want to onboard and help get transformations through the programs that you offer? What are your goals personally? The one thing, I like to do too is, like, plan off my downtime first. Like, put in when you want to take vacations, when you have important events or doctor's appointments, things like that in your calendar. So you kind of know what blocks of time you have to work with, and then start planning in all of those tasks. So again, prioritize, and then plan, and then produce. And that's where we're going to put the system to place. And so stay tuned for next week's, the third part of the time mastery management system, where we really get into producing and then really evaluating our plan to see what's working and what's not working, and then the strategies that we can implement to make those tweaks along the way, so we can really take advantage of that, and getting the most done, generating the most income and impact, and saving the most amount of time. So these are your action steps to go forward and take care of. Is, again, take out your notepad, paper, Google Sheet, Google Doc, whatever works for you. I want you to take the most important item on that list. If you could only do one thing today, look at what that particular item is and make that priority 1. Then do that again. Like, what's priority 2? What's priority 3? And keep going down the list so you can really get clear on those priorities, as well as, like, are these priorities income generating activities? Are they leading me to being able to make money as an online coach, a course creator, or a service provider? Or is it busy work? Is it just making my website pretty? Things like that aren't necessarily going to drive results in your business. And then take each task, and then I want you to schedule it on your calendar. Put time in your calendar to be able to accomplish the task. Then also on one of our next coffee chat too, I like to then take and utilize ChatGPT to really help me, like, here's all of my tasks. Let's look at it. Let's make sure we prioritize it using the Eisenhower matrix. And then let's break it down and create a weekly schedule, a monthly schedule, or a monthly schedule, weekly schedule, daily schedule, and put some time on it. And a lot of times, not that it's always right, but what it does show me a lot of times very, very quickly is where my brain thinks I can get it all done. It comes back and says, oh, here's how we would recommend doing this. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, right, well, I'm glad to see somebody else is telling me that I can't get 100 tasks done in a particular day. Because sometimes like our brain thinks that we can do it all, but we're not Superwoman or Superman, even though you might think you are. But it does really help you get clear on making sure you're getting the right things done at the right time. So I can help you walk through those in some chats, like prompts that you can put into chat GPT to help expedite this process and make it even quicker. So it's a lot of fun. And then bring your questions that you have to either drop it on here below or bring it onto the Course Creator Collective, and I can get those answered for you on the next live Q&A and coffee chat. And then, so take each task, schedule it on your calendar, batching tasks where it makes sense. So again, like you're putting product development in one bucket, you're putting anything to do content related in another bucket, client conversations and community development in another bucket, kind of like prioritizing it like that is helpful. And then plan the rest of your week and remember to overestimate like how long it's going to take you to get things done. Allow for those tech glitches if you have like that, what happened to me. And then add in the buffer time between each of these task blocks so you can get up, go get some water, take a walk. Maybe it's getting some things done around your house or making a phone call. Or maybe it's just reading, like enjoy your time. And then include some free or catch up time. So that was something for me too that I have gotten more intentional about this year, is really putting in some time to get a bath after work and prepare dinner and have some good quality time with family and friends. Because when you, especially me, like people like me, you really love what you do. Like you could work 24/7, but it's not, you didn't become an entrepreneur just to work. You came here to have freedom, right? You came to create freedom to really enjoy and live your life to the fullest. So let's make sure that we're doing that. So if you want to really, implement that in your business, get a systematic approach where you can get everything you need to get done and have time to spare, no more feeling like time is slipping away, that it's going nowhere, I really encourage you to get to that next slide. I really encourage you to go ahead, grab the resources again that I provided for you, go through the steps, implement, bring your questions to the Course Creator Collective. Just give it a try. You have nothing to lose but time, right? No, you can save more time, I promise. Just give it a try. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to give you some feedback on that as well. And share your work, share with what you're doing so we can help give you some guidance along the way. And then if you want to learn more, you're ready to get some help in your business to be able to turn your expertise into a profitable online course or coaching program with ease, give me a call or send me a DM to learn how you can join my program called To Serve. It's my signature course launch system where I help you do everything from take your concept that you have, if you haven't already created a course, take that concept and turn it into paying clients with ease. So you can really create the freedom that you desire, create the impact that you desire, and create the lifestyle that you desire. So if you could use some support in that, send me a DM or drop a comment down below that you would like to find out more. And I would be happy to connect with you as well. And look in the comments section, and I'll link the sales page there for you as well, so you can get some more detailed information about the program. But it is an investment of $97 a month. It is a hybrid program, and I really work with you. You have all of the video content for you in the course portal, and then I work with you weekly with live Q&As, and then also offer some additional opportunities for you to have some one-on-one calls with me as well if you need some additional guidance and support. So, and then as a bonus gift too, another gift for you, link down below is the Ultimate Course Creation Guide too, that's going to support you in helping you to turn your concept into clients. So go ahead and make sure that you grab that too. It's the perfect complement to what I'll be teaching you inside the program and to Call to Serve. So don't miss a chance to transform your expertise into a thriving business. your clients need you, your soulmate clients need you, and the work that you do and getting your gifts out into the world is so important. So thank you so much for spending your time with me this afternoon. I hope that you found this training helpful. Again, give it like a like and hit the subscribe bell if you would like to have more videos like this showing up in your notifications box. I would love that. And thank you so much for your support. And we will see you soon. Bye for now.